Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness, how about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome, everybody, to Week 38 of the 2020-2021 PGA season, the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Up here with you, as usual, on a soaking wet, rainy Monday afternoon. Kind of be a theme of the day with what we got going on in Detroit as well, but it is equally as wet and flooding and some historical flooding down here Sunday morning. So some crazy weather along central United States going on right now with all this rain. Last week, of course, was a good week overall. Had some good hits in the room. I was obviously kind of out of touch with my member guest. It went well. We actually got shortened on Saturday because of the rain, got rained out a little bit. We were able to climb back from tied for last after day one all the way to second place in our flight. It's always a fun time. It was kind of crazy considering what we have right now. Just hellacious heat into the hundreds Thursday and Friday, and then all this rain came following it. So it was a grind. It was a marathon, but I'm glad to be back. We got full focus moving this forward all the way till football season starts. Don't have any vacations or anything that going. Got a lot to get built and done on the football tools, so we were all in moving forward. Travelers went, it was kind of like deja vu for me. You got some pretty good lineups up there. Back nine Sunday with Bubba in them. Hank Lebioto did well. Bogeyed, I think 11 and 12 or 12 and 13, something like that, and then but finished strong. Got two more birdies. And, jump back up there. I think I was in the top 25 in the Ironman and the $20. But, he finished T5, which we got that at 30-1. So it was good for betting. But, boy, Bubba's collapse was – I was literally like, man, this felt like this just happened. Oh, wait, it did. Bryson the week before just killed lineups. When you're that tight on stuff, especially those big MMEs, a collapse like that does not do well for the old screenshot. So back-to-back, what looked like really good weeks turned out to be losses. So, we back at it this week. Totally different setup, birdie fest, weaker field than we've seen 2 weeks out of the Open. So a lot to digest. But I went on Travis Fulton's show earlier and kind of feel decent about the field already. Did some more research after that and ready to go. I think we got a good week coming. This is obviously the return to the epic Doc Redman week from 2019 for the community. So maybe that gives a little good mojo heading into the week. Some shout outs. Like I said, betting, I haven't recapped much yet. I was still getting everything back to normal from yesterday. Didn't bet a lot. Didn't do many matchups or anything, being I like to do that. I obviously have the data. I run it when I can, but I also like watching a lot, so it helps me look for some of that betting info. So didn't do a lot of betting being away, but hit the top five Lebioda at 30-1, which was pretty good. I can't remember what English paid out. I think 45-1. So hitting his top five almost as good as the outright. Hugger 99 had a huge week. Took down the PME. Our boy Fam won the Nagels Bagels tournament, which is a winner-take-all deal, so very difficult to do. He turned $221 into $2,600, so a couple good weeks for those guys there. Long-time loyal subscribers as well. If you want to come be a subscriber and you're not currently, use the code SMASH20, get 20% off any package. A great time to join right now, as it will include the Open. We got some Birdie Fest coming up with Rocket Mortgage, 3M, John Deere Classic, a little bit weaker fields on those as well. So some deep diving stuff could be had, could be useful in our tools and research center. We finalized our plan of attack for the Football Tools Research Center that we're building in-house. So we've started that process. That's going to be awesome. Slowly but surely, keep enhancing it, keep getting it bigger and better for you guys. I'm going to feel real good by the time we get through this football season that our kind of long 2-3 year grind of getting that better and better and better kind of gets there. So it's a great time to come join the community right now. Lots of new faces have been in there in the last month. We still got some big golf tournaments left as well. Ryan's been killing NASCAR. We got a big UFC fight on July 10th. MLB's been grinding every day. Seen a lot of green screens out of there. NBA's coming down to a wine, but always fun to do like the NBA Finals showdown and stuff like that. The Slack channel, our Gups Corner Warrior Room, Slack is awesome for that kind of stuff. One-off games, talk some strategy, things like that. All that stuff is hot and heavy right now. Ryan continues to do really well at NASCAR, and it, is going to take a big role with NFL as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Rate and review us on iTunes. We always do big giveaways during the major weeks and probably for NFL kickoff season as well. Go ahead and give us a nice rating on there, a review that gets you in the drawing. If you've already done it, you're in it. If you don't remember, do it again. Doesn't hurt. Always helps us out. Subscribe to this on YouTube. Like our video. Like this video and all of them that we'll be doing. We'll get to a point in the fall, especially because golf really doesn't stop. Probably could have 5 or 6 a week. So really goes a long way. In the video today, leave me who you want to fade in the 10K range and who is your favorite play in the 8K range. Give me 2 names there. Enter you in the drawing for Wednesday's Movers and Shakers podcast. I'll announce the winners on that podcast. So I appreciate that. Listener League is up and will be in the description. 400 this week, like last week. 500 a first, 3K max or 3 max per person, limited rake and flat payouts. Last week's winner, Wiggy0302. Answer, Casey, Harmon, English, Reevy, and Stanley. Solid lineup, but 2 guys that I just decided to kind of get really light on, and I completely faded Answer. Looked really good most of the way till Friday. Makes the cut on the number, makes a huge run. That when that happens, it sucks if you're on my side. The other side, it's great, right? You get a big guy like that can make runs on weekends. That's why it's so important to cut. I mean, Thursdays really don't matter one way or the other. I was obviously playing Thursday, but when first time I got on, I saw the Twitter machine of, oh my God, Answer, I can't believe it. Chalk's, he was +3, I think, at that time, but grind it all the way back, get to the weekend, go low. It saves the chalk for the week, but it is what it is, right? He played well. Answer was a fade, and I wrote it up as such. I didn't have an opinion per se on English, but didn't go there. So was going to be a little bit higher on, just decided to go elsewhere. Had some great plays. Hank Lebioda was also big for me, but just didn't get it all together on Sunday once again, and that's just part of the game we play in. Casey, Harmon, and Stanley, good plays. Reevy, didn't have Reevy on my radar, but congrats to him. I'll get him the invite as well this evening. Course preview this week. We're at the Detroit Country Club. This is the 3rd year for it to be at this course. Par 72, 7,300, or 3rd year for the tournament, I believe, in total. But 2019, 2020 were the first 2 years. 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s, super low scoring. We know that. First 2 years have been 23 under, 25 under. 25 under with Nate Lashley that year. 6 strokes win over Redmond. But remember, Lashley was a Monday Q on that field. Or he may have been actually added after a withdrawal. So he may have been added Wednesday. I don't know if he Monday Q'd or if he was just a withdrawal alternate, because he wasn't in DraftKings. I went and saw that, and I don't even think people could bet him, because I think he was a late add. I think when Travis and I talked, we may have said Monday Q, but I think he was just a alternate that got in late. I can verify that. May have been a Monday Q. I don't know. It was one of those others, because he wasn't, in the DraftKings pool that week. Now DraftKings has done a really good job of adding the Monday Qs and stuff on Tuesday. They virtually do it every week. I don't think they missed any. If there's really late withdrawals, they obviously don't do it, but they try to get all the field in there as they can. That was a big week for us. Last year, Bryson and Wolf, who seemed to be at the leaderboards together more times than not. Last year was a year, there was 2 big weeks. I decided just to fade the big chalk guy, and it was Bryson and web, and it didn't work out either way for me. So a little bit of, not bitter. It'd be like, we're going to be in that same predicament today. We'll get to it in just a second. But we're going to be like, do you play Bryson or do you fade him? Certainly the highest win equity in the field. But many reasons you could try to fade him this week. So I think that's going to be one of the big choices. No matter how it goes, I do think it's going to play a lot like 2019. 2019, there was a lot of rain heading up into that tournament. So now it's maybe not as much dry. If you look at the off the tee stats, it wasn't as dominant in 2019. And I think that's because of maybe the rollout and all that kind of stuff they're getting pounded just like we are right now. Tons of rain there. So I think be interesting. It's going to be important to listen to the pressers and updates and, kind of contacts we have around there to see, do they think it's going to, dry out at all or as much, or that actual tournament looks pretty good for the most cases. Maybe a few showers Thursday and then nothing, but it's just going to be how much, saturation does that course have, and how does that affect the play. But being 29, even in 2019, it actually scored easier not easier, but for Lashley, he shot 25 under. But a lot of the field was still low teens. So I don't think he's going to play like grinding out, 10 under, 11 under, anything like that. I still think we're going to see 18, 19, 20 under type numbers. Bent grass green, a tiny bit of POA, but for anything you're looking at research-wise, use bent grass greens. Bent is in the fairway, some bluegrass rough. I think this will be, I already said that, slightly below average green size. Not terribly small, but they are smaller than what you consider average. 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s. I have a cut around -5. Could see -6. I'd say -4 to -6 is kind of the range, I think. I think 5 probably is the number. And I got the winner -20 as we sit here on a Monday afternoon. I'm looking at this week on the model I built so far. Strokes gained off the tee, great approach, birdie or better, par 5 DK scoring, opportunities inside 18 feet, and just overall ball striking. You're going to have scores. I mean, a lot of Eagles here. This is top 3 on the tour last year, and Eagles had in the field. You're going to have tons of birdies, be able to go on streaks, stuff like that. Completely opposite of what we've kind of had here of lately as far as finishing positions matter. I'm certainly probably going to have the winner and stuff like that, but you need guys that can get a lot of points with birdies and eagles and streaks and stuff like that. Since 2019, there's only 17 haven't played it. 131 that we have in the field right now out of 148 have played at least once in the last 2 years. So vast majority of the field has at least seen this course once, and a lot of them have seen it twice. Doesn't necessarily mean course history matters anymore, but I do notice as I went through some of the stuff I do that it's short sample size, so nothing to get over on, is a lot of guys have done well both years or miscut both years. You have a few that have done miscut 8th, miscut 21st, but overall I think if someone likes this course, maybe that's something we lean into just a little bit, nothing too crazy. Always going to look at form as well coming into the week. Salary ranges for me, 10K, 5 guys, 9K, 6 guys, 8K, 11 guys, 7K, 39 guys, and 6K, 87 guys. We'll have a few added for the Monday queue today. Virtually all those are normally in the 6K range, so we'll probably have over 90 again in that range this week. Sweet 16 this week. Let's get into it. 9K and above. I'll get to Bryson in a second. That's just going to be the biggest talking point, I think. But I like Willie Z. I am a little cautious of, can he have that game and the putter and all that kind of stuff that gets a super low. I guess I just have him in my mind as that grinded out. He did well in the U.S. Open, Wingfoot, I believe, did well at the Masters, and that was a little bit of scoring, but tough courses he seemed to have done well at. But I think he can score, especially if he gets any kind of putter. Putter's been letting him down a little bit lately. Bent seems to be his best surface, though. So at 10K, he's the cheapest in the field. Maybe people are kind of off that shine. I don't mind going back there, especially in this field. It's top heavy, but there are some good plays. Relative to the field, there are some good plays. I don't mind playing in the 6K, that $700 to $7,400 range. So I don't mind paying up. this week if I really like the guy. My second play is Matsu. I think he's coming in with good form. He's got a 13th and a 21st here. Kind of getting his shook off the rust from the long break after the Masters. 26th at the U.S. Open. We know he's one of the better ball strikers on tour and in this field. If he can putt pretty good, he's obviously played well 2 years in a row. 10-4. He may not get played that much. I kind of think it'll be interesting to see the industry and what we hear, but it almost feels like, it's either play Bryson or drop down and go balanced. It's kind of my gut reaction to their up top. So maybe playing guys like Zalatoris, Matsu, even Reed, or Webb. I don't like whatever's going on with him, whether it be injury, combo of that. He hasn't played a lot. His price is way up there. I'd rather drop down and play Matsu. So I like Willie Z and Matsu 1 and 2. My third, 9K and above, is Kokrak. I'll go back there. Loves bent greens. 8th in stats for me. 1st in recent form. 6th in course fit. He got 29th there in 2019. And that year he didn't putt well at all. So, we know the putter's been on fire, been way more consistent. Going to be big off the tee. Always hits the, good irons. He's 5th in ball striking in the field. Not much to hate about him. I do think we got a potential worry about, is he going to be chalk? That may be it with that price. But outside of that, I faded him at, I think, the U.S. Open. I wound up going really, really light because at where he was there, and I think he was going to be one of the top 3 percentage, I kind of see it. Here, a little bit different feel, a little bit different situation. So as of Monday, I do like him. And then my kind of bubble boy, and maybe ish, is Bryson. It's really just going to depend on the true feel. Do people feel that confident in him? And where he's priced in the betting market compared to the field, I think he's underpriced in DK. Only $500 more than Reed. And he's almost, in some spots, double the win equity percentage, around 11%, Reed's around 6%. In past years, you would think we would see him like maybe 11-8 and Reed 10-9, something like that, to make you really, if you're going to go in on him, you got to pay up. That's what has me concerned about the chalk and everybody playing him, is because you can fit him at 11-4 without having to just go stupid down low on pricing. You make some builds with him very easily. So the pricing differential from him to the others really doesn't put you off of him. It's just a matter of, do you want to take a massive, hedge against the field and fade him? Do you go back to Wolf, right? I kind of had him in parentheses that they seem to be together a lot. Wolf looked decent at U.S. Open, struggled at times, but fought through it all, finished 15th. He missed a cut last week. I think he shot +6. I didn't see what he shot Friday. At one time he was 1 or 2 under. So I think he's just working on the game and getting there. Travis kind of mentioned that on his pod, that I believe he knows his coach well. That I think he's just, not one day at a time per se, but that in that mentality, I think he comes with huge volatility. But at 9,100, I don't think Wolf's going to be extremely high owned. So it's not really a Bryson or Wolf type of deal, but I think that's something to keep in mind as a side note. But the bubble boy for me is Bryson. Strictly going to come down to the strategy part of where I feel everybody's going towards by the time we get to Wednesday. And I'll update that on the movers and shakers. And of course, the premium member content, I'll go into details on it. AK range, one of my favorite plays of the week, Tringali. I've been on him a little bit lately. 8,100, good price point. A 30th and a 5th here, 5th in bent green putting, 26th at Memorial. He did miss a cut last week, so maybe good bounce back position. 38th in stats for me, 12th in form, 9th in fit. So not much I hate about him, especially at that price. I think he's top 20 upside here, and that's what I want out of an AK guy. Fowler's my next play. I think I can get some leverage there based on pricing. I know he generally gets popular, probably more popular in like an MME build than some single 1 to 3 max stuff. So it may be more advantageous to play him in the 3 max type stuff, and maybe you fade him in the bigger field, something like that, to diversify your portfolio a little bit. He has played well here, even when he wasn't really playing well. So a 12th, a 46, 2 made cuts. Bent's his probably best surface he putts on. An 11th at Memorial showed some flashes. He did miss a cut last week, so maybe he burned enough people that We get him at a little bit discount this week, so I like Fowler 8,700. Charlie Hoffman is one that I do like. I do fully expect a lot of other people to be on him. 8,800, number one in my stats, fifth in ranking, recent form. There's not much to hate about him. He hasn't really finished well, but he's played good here recently. Now, he went on a pretty hot run there, but 57th, 30th. He's still striking the ball really, really well. First in ball striking in the field for me. Sixth in opportunities inside 18 feet. Eighth in birdie or better. First in great approach. 13th off the tee. It's just hard to ignore all the good. So this may be a don't get too cute spot. Now, just gut feeling, I don't know if I'd start DeChambeau Hoffman. I think that's a popular build, or Kokrak Hoffman. Maybe if you fade the whole 10K, that gets you a little bit different. But at the end of the day, you got to have guys you think that are going to be there. And he's certainly the only reason I'd come off him or be a little down is if I think he's just going to be so high owned that with the rest of my pool, I want to move off of him. But as we said here Monday, I like Charlie Hoffman. Next up, Bubble Boy Homa. I like everything about him, but I could see some buzz on him this week. 2 missed cuts in a row. Did have a 6th at Memorial. A 42nd back here in 2019. Putting on Vince, pretty good. He's 22nd in the field. There's not much to hate here. I just don't. I really love this 8K range. I like a lot of the players on it. I think I have 8 of the 11 guys inside my top 21 ranking. So there's a lot to be had there. And what I will probably be doing by the time we get to Wednesday, because I like so many, it's kind of leveraging at the best spots. Like because there's so many I like, and it's really, tight between all of them. I'll probably just go where I can get the most leverage against the field for the most part. And maybe go overweight on 1 or 2 of the higher owned there. I could see Homa being a guy talked up a lot, especially, and maybe more people bet him than they do the DK pricing. I hadn't listened to anything yet this week, just me and Travis's conversation. So he kind of liked Homa this week as well. 7K range, I'm going back to Doc. No reason not to get a repeat of, he's done well even last year. 2nd in 2019, 21st last year, showing signs of improvement in the overall game. A 42nd, a 2nd at Palmetto, and a 61st last week. So, if he can keep the putter going, stay away from the big numbers, he certainly can contend here and win. We've seen it, we know it. He's always I like him. Pricing kind of worries me on maybe potential a little bit of chalkiness, but 7,900. I don't really care too much. I'm gonna have plenty of Doc this week. Ryan Armour, go right back to him. He's one of the guys that we may hear. I think if you look at the leaderboard, you can mention bombers off the tee and all that, but there's enough guys up there that Brian Stewart, Ryan Armour, Wes Roach that aren't. I mean, they just have really great irons or really good whatever short game, make a lot of stuff like that. So it doesn't have to all be big bombers up there. And Armour just seems to stick around in these kind of fields. 46th and a 4th the last 2 years. He's above average in the putting side. Birdie or betters, he's 3rd in the field right now. 32nd opportunities inside. I think he's going to give himself a lot of looks and have chances. And at his price, we just need a made cut, top 30 upside, maybe top 20. It gets us in there. I'll go back to him this week. Liked him last week, played him some, finished 61st. Nothing special, but certainly nothing to get off of. One of my favorite plays on the board is next, Straka. I like Straka this week. An 8th and 11th. Maybe that history gets him a little buzz. He finished 10th last week as well, so decent for him, but he had missed 2 cuts prior at the Palmetto and Memorial. He's 29th in the field in my putting splits. Number 1 in par 5 scoring. 22nd in birdie or better, 32nd in approach, 28th off the tee. So, the game is there. It's just a matter of can he put it all together and keep it together for 4 rounds, in my opinion. And the price allows for, if he can finish, if he finished like he did last 2 years, 11th and 8th, kind of tells me he likes the course. That's all we need. But, top 20 at 7,700 is going to have you, and he's a guy that can get those big birdie streaks or eagles that could get you. They could outscore his position in a week where we need that a lot this week. So I like Sepp Straka. My bubble boy right now is Lucas Glover. Never know how to read him, get into him. I do like that he played last year. He finished 21st. Putter is always going to be a potential issue for him. 13th in stats, 16th in my overall model. he looks decent coming in. Missed a cut at Palmetto, but a 37th at Memorial before that was running pretty good. Probably he's on the bubble because there's just enough things there that's not making me feel warm and fuzzy. It'd probably be low owned, so he's a good, for me, an MME flyer type position. Comes out 16th overall, so I do like that. Just have him on the bubble because a little bit of worried about the overall complete game right now, but $7,800 potential MME flyer for sure. 6K range, I like Danny Lee to kick it off. He's not my favorite in this range, but that guy is going to be the sleeper of the week, so we'll get to him in a second. But I'll go with Lee. 21st 2 years ago, a 19th at Palmetto, in between two missed cuts, but that's Lee. When you're coming down to this range, you're going to get him. It's going to be, could miss a cut by 2 or 3 or 4, could miss it on the number, or could make a run and be sitting there, in the final group come Sunday and potentially finish top 10, top 15. This kind of week, this kind of field, I'll take some risk on that, and he's one that I like. He's 21st in stats for me overall. $6,700 is a good price to pay if you're needing to go down here this week. Next is Roger Sloan. He kind of piqued some interest of several in the last few weeks. Missed a cut last week, a 52nd at Palmetto. Split results here, a 21st and a missed cut. 35th in stats at 6,500 though. You just need one of those weeks where everything comes together. Good price. Again, this is more of an MME play. Nothing I'm looking at core play, but I like some of the things that the 17th in ball striking in the field, 28th in par 5 DK scoring, 35th off the tee. So I like, for a guy I'm going cheap on, I like if he can get 2 or 3 good things out of the things I'm looking at. Of course, he's going to have some negatives. He has to if he's ranked down that high or that low. He's 301 on the field. So these kind of guys are going to have some weaknesses, but I don't mind him this week. Norlander is my last before the Bubble Boy. He is 12th here last year. And surprisingly, he didn't do it with his putter. So tee to green, he was great last year. Good irons. I think I said over 8 on Travis's show. 8 strokes gained on his irons. Normally he can get rolling a little bit with the putter. 29th in stats, like I mentioned, 2nd course fit. 2 straight made cuts, a 25th at Palmetto and a 61st last week. Made the cut last week, didn't do much on the weekend. I don't think he's going to be too popular or talked about. So, I'll go with him this week. And there's some names I'll mention here in a second that are going to be around him that I think people will go take chances on. None of these guys are going to be more than 4 or 5% owned. So, you can take your chances where you want to. Bubble Boy for me it was Austin Eckroth at Oklahoma State. Played him just a hair last week, made the cut. Maybe getting his, he's fresh on him, and John Pack and Davis Thompson are all the kind of college boys that just came out. I like him the most upside wise. Pack probably second, and then Thompson. They're all real close, and I think in this kind of field and what we're looking at, I think they're all good to take chances on. It doesn't have to be much. I don't think any of these guys are going to be over 3 or 4%. So, if you want to pick one of the 3, 2 of the 3 to take some flyers on in a MME type style, certainly think so. But I like Eckroth. I've seen him more, obviously being here in Oklahoma. I've seen him play more and coverage on him. So like his upside and just the pedigree. I mean, look at all Oklahoma State guys. Ventura's shown some flashes. Hovland just won yesterday over on Euro. So, I just like him. Keep him in mind. Throw him in a few lineups if you're building, a 20 to 50 lineup type build or something. Fade of the week for me, I don't know where this guy's going to come in, and I'm not worried about projected ownership on Monday. Since I come back Wednesday for y'all, I get to dial in more. I'm just going to – I'm just going with the guy that I don't think I'll play, normally a higher price type deal, and it's Bubba. He's not made the cut here in 2 years. Kind of a mental – nervy finish +6 late yesterday. Bubba seems to be pretty consistent on where he plays well and where he doesn't. And I was going to take the results here. 2 missed cuts. Maybe a grind. He's grinding out last week. He's leading it with 9 holes left. little bit of a letdown spot. 9,200. I don't want to pay that. There's plenty of other options I want. So Bubba will be the guy I just don't want any of this week. Sleeper of the week for me, and that's how I put him off a little bit, is Adam Schenk. I like him. Everything I look at him, I look at him again, like him more. Sometimes I get off these guys. I don't see that coming, but a 30th and a 42, so 2 made cuts here, 2 top 40s, decent on bent, good stats, 5th in my overall stat model, 5th in par 5 DK scoring, 23rd on approach, great approach, 21st on birdie or better, 22nd on inside 18 feet. He's mid-pack, or actually slightly above mid-pack off the tee, but 44th in total ball striking. So at that price, I just think there's a lot of upside there. And has played this course already 2 years in a row. So I really like Adam Schenk this week, $6,500. My gut feel plays of the week, I'm going with CH3. I got him 25th in the model, 7,100. We know he's been working on his game with his coach, trying to change some things. Still striving to be good. Pretty good on bent. I just like his overall game and where he's at. So $7,100. I'll take Charles Howell. Bryce Garnett, I'll go back there this week. I know it was a lot of putter last week. He's got a 17th here 2 years ago. The 5th place finish last week. He's 33rd in my stats, top 10 in bent putting. So these greens are going to be somewhat similar to what they putted last week as well. 7,000 flat. There's a lot of these guys I'm going to be sprinkling plenty of, so I like Garnett. Cam Davis, that's no shocker. He's kind of like Doc to me. Especially at this kind of big fill, 4 par 5s, $7,200. Has missed a cut here twice, so a little worrisome there, but I'll take my chances and he's a guy that can score so much if he can make the cut, finish top 40, but finish top 20 in DK scoring. Very, very easily can do that. That's the kind of guy he scores in bunches, can get those streaks, and he's 4th in birdie or better, 6th in DK par 5 scoring. So I like Cam Davis, $7,200. Tom Lewis, $7,200, a 12th here last year, a 47th last week, 24th in my stat model. So enough positive signs there for the $7,200 price mark that I'll go a little Tom Lewis this week for the last gut fill play of the week. Betting top 5 that pop in 2 long shots, powered by Monkey Knife Fight. Use the code GUPS, GUPS, for 100% match up to your first $50 deposit. Just use that code when you go to monkeyknifefight.com. First one to pop to me is Tringali, 60-1. Some of these numbers move up and down. I'll release my first outright card probably a little later tonight. A 5th, like I mentioned, a 5th and a 30th here. I like that number, 60. Neiman, 28-1. A 5th here 2 years ago. Could certainly see him getting another win here. Redmond, 50-1. I like him, like the number. I think he can get a win here. Fowler, 50. I just think that's a good value on him. Maybe we just get him peaking again. I mean, if he's playing, if he can get up to his game back, he certainly, he would be, 20-1 or something this week, 25-1. I know we haven't seen it. We've seen some flashes though. I could take my chances there at 50. And then Straka, who I talked about earlier a lot, 80-1. That's a good number. My 2 long shots. First one's obvious. Adam Schenk, 250-1. I like him. And then Danny Lee, 200-1. Those are guys that you can do your top 20s with, top 5 with. You're going to get, like last week, Lebiota, we got 200-1 outright, but we did top 5 at 30-1. So that's a great payout for a top 5. You had to make sure you know your dead heat rules on your books. Some chop that top 5, some pay it out in full. The one I use pays it out in full. I think the one most of us, depending on where you live, do pay it out. But there's some that don't. So that thing would have been chopped like 5 different ways. So I'd make sure you know that for sure. One and done. Well, you could take some chances this week. Like a Kokrak to me, you may not have used him. He's a guy. Willie Z, maybe didn't jump on that when he was hot. Neiman. If you have Bryson, I'd be probably a little shocked, but this will be a good week to load him up. Hoffman, I think maybe you're on the Homa. You believe in that. Redmond is a guy that I could see myself using. Fowler, probably hadn't used him. He's just now starting to show some signs. Maybe some of these younger guys, Higo, Ekrock, Pat, pack. Maybe go Wolf. Just think, hey, he's kind of shown enough flashes. He gets it together, gets hot. Certainly can see him doing some things as well. So I think it's a week you could be like, it all depends on where you're sitting at. We're getting down to the final stretches here. So I think it depends on where you're sitting and what suits you best, and then who you're going to use for the British Open, those kind of things. I don't know if you're saving a Patrick Reed or someone like that for the Open, maybe you just go with a little off the wall here this week. We'll be back for E9. I'll have Tuesday Tidbats out tomorrow. I'll have Wednesday Movers and Shakers back. We're full go now. See if Kenny will join me. I know if not, he will be back, for sure for the Open, but, he tries to get one or two in between the majors. I know he's been super busy, though, as of late, but I will go live Wednesday afternoon for E9 for the premium members. Don't forget to use SMASH20, get 20% off, and that includes a 7-day free trial. So you can come check out all of our tools, all our research center, the Green Machine, which just continues to improve weekly, if not daily sometimes. No charge the first 7 days. Put your information in. You don't like it, cancel, never get charged. Do like it, you get the discount. If you want to upgrade, you get to use the discount again. All that's done automated through the site, so it's pretty easy for you guys. Appreciate you guys. I will be back tomorrow for Tuesday Tidbits. Have a great week, and I'll see you later.